to their peril. Now we need amnesty. We need to talk about the problem responsibly. But the sides, both sides of the argument are so peril that it's hard to find the middle. And I think what America needs to find is to find the middle and stop screaming at each other.
But Trent, didn't Trump and the Republicans use it as a tool to win the election? Because they had a bill coming out, and he told them not to vote for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right out of my mouth. Yeah, they absolutely did that. That is absolutely what they did.
I just always feel like that should be said before someone has to say it in rebuttal, because ultimately they were trying to do the same thing. They were trying to address the problem.
Well, what I'll say to that, Brian, is there was a point where I think Democrats had both the House and the Senate, and they should have addressed that early when they had that political capital to do so, but they didn't. And so it was a two-pronged thing. One, the changing of all the orders was a problem, and then two, the inability to once they knew it was a problem, like probably mid 2022, the inability to deal with the problem is what caused these people who were mainly Democrat supporters, especially in South Texas and along the border. These were Democratic supporters. It caused these people to.
A lot of people, for some reason, I know you say, hey, listen, I'm not this, but a lot of people have this idea that you are based off of what you said.
It's fine. We have trouble. We get so locked into our echo chambers that when even somebody like myself,
Here you go.
Even somebody like myself who's very much a moderate, even somebody like myself, when you agree with you 70% of the time, the 30% of the time that there's disagreement, and I largely don't disagree with like what many of the people here say, right? We talk about a lot of things, but we get so
No, we don't.
Okay. Well, we get on both sides. This is on both sides. This is Republican and Democrat. We get so locked into
Trent, let me just look. I'm not confusing you with no one. You have a unique personality, right? You have a unique personality, you have a unique character, all whole nine yards. I clearly remember all your talking points were MAGA. You just ended it with, well, I'm going to vote for Kamala. But then you didn't agree with anything she was running on. Anything she wanted to do, you didn't agree with, but you were going to vote for. And you agreed with everything Trump was running on and wanted to do, but you didn't want to vote for him. That's exactly how.
What I was going to say is, I was just called, one of my friends who I've known for 30 years since middle school, called me a raging Democrat today. I'll send it to Tiana, as you can see. Call me I'm a raging liberal demon rat. You know what I mean? And
like you see how you said the border, all the border was a big issue. You agreed on the tariffs. I
agreed in principle.
I know you started changing it up a little bit as you saw the shit falling the fuck apart. But at the very beginning, you were so for the tariffs. You were so for.
I'm still for tariffs.
Okay, there you go.
Tariffs are the only way that I think that we can figure out a way to protect.
That's not what you said last month. You said that you made a big mistake with agreeing with it.
No, I said I made a big mistake thinking that that this administration could do them effectively. I don't agree. There's a difference. I agree with tariffs in order to protect American jobs. I don't agree something that Canada is doing, and you tweet out, I'm putting a 50% tariff on all Canada goods. That is insane ways about doing this. You can have it's hard to have an conversation about right. I voted for Kamala Harris. I thought Kamala, and she had the time to run, would win the campaign. My main beast with Biden was even being in the stupid fucking race. He should have been out of the race in 2023. And I feel like he was hidden away, and the people were not getting an opportunity to have a primary, which I think the Democrats were doing. Neither here nor there now. There are some things, like when it comes to tariffs, that I do believe protect American jobs. I don't like the way that the man executes a lot of things today.
Sorry, Trent, just so you know, you're one of my favorite people. Your comments just explain and the people's reaction.
Muhammad, I don't know if it's me, but I can barely hear you, brother.
You know,
I'm sorry, that's too loud.
I thought you was at dinner or something. Sound like plates. Those are plates of the weights.
You ought to start stuff. Get them curls.
Hey, Trent, what did you think about this?
Sorry, y'all, I got these new headphones and they just...
We don't carry it at gym.
If your heads ain't phony. JD, you was gonna say something? No, I was asking Trent what was his take on that whole DEI thing.
DEI thing.
Well, you know, them removing DEI out of the government, all that.
I think it was. Yeah, I don't agree with it. Yeah, I don't know. Especially the way they went about it.
Do you realize, Trent, that DEI is back to being all the rage now because people realize that they were wrong and Trump lost in court?
Listen, I'm gonna say this one more time. I don't know how else to say it to you. I don't even know who you are. I'm not an exporter. I know you want to make me out to be certain. There are some things I like lower taxes. Let me be very honest. I like lower taxes. I generally like less regulation. So that's where my conservative Republican side comes in. There are some things when it comes to DEI, when it comes to immigration, especially ICE interdiction, the way it's going about, I vehemently disagree with. But I can have a nuanced conversation about it. I understand the reason why we have taxation to support certain people and to help them out. I understand also why there are certain elements of society that are angry about what they see as a replacement or a mass immigration into their communities. So I can have the conversation on both sides without getting angry about it.
I missed it, but we all understand that being anti-taxation is a fundamentally conservative idea, right? It's not
Not only anti-taxation, smaller taxation is the way. It's not like articles of confederation where everybody has to agree to tax. More like take the top line that you would pay your taxes instead of paying 45% combined, you'd pay 35 or 40% combined. Something like that.
So reduce the amount of tax revenue
Yes, ma'am.
in a country where the entitlements are already heralded as they're going to be underfunded in a country with rising wealth and income inequality, where more people are relying on those systems, so you want to reduce the amount of money that is used to fund those systems. It just doesn't. It doesn't really compare.
Hello? To be honest, the budget goes in this order: entitlements, Social Security, Medicare, disability insurance. Of those three, disability insurance chews up the largest amount, $5.2 trillion, you would shrink that deficit. And that would
Point of clarification, we're the global reserve currency. It's always a false equivalency to equate central banking, trade policy, and interest rates with personal finance. They're two entirely different things, and it's a really sad psychological trick. Another really important point of clarification, I'm a dim that wants lower taxes, and Kamala was too. We recently have been running with not increasing taxes for those folks earning less than $400K a year, and folks earning more than $400K a year, we just want them to pay their fair share, and there's billionaires that agree with that. Like Warren Buffett said, absolutely, why am I taxed less than my secretary?
Yeah, but
Like that makes sense. So,
We need more
so
revenue, not
these are
less
really for that.
revenue.
And another really important point of clarification is that it's not tariffs that protect jobs. Like, there's not a one-to-one type of thing. It's executives with ethics and a heart that protect jobs.
it would also be
In our business models, the
Can I respond? I gotta respond to that. Who said that? First of all, who said that? Who was that? Who said that executives with corporations with a heart? Who said that? The point of corporations is to make money and to make the most amount of profit possible. And so we have a capitalist system that does not protect the worker in its face. It is labor compensation is the enemy of profit. And so while there have been some good things, and there have been some good executives and CEOs and presidents of companies who have done things over the years, generally speaking, that is not the case. And so in order tariffs do protect your jobs, that is one of the reasons why some jobs have had to come back to the United States, where these companies can make more profit by sending the jobs to a place like Mexico and paying the workers 10% of what an American makes.
Wait, what was that saying you said? Labor, paying labor is what to capitalism?
Paying labor is the enemy of profit.
So labor compensation is the enemy of profit. Yet, labor is what makes these companies profitable.
Right, you cannot say that you are
Hello?
pro the well-being and the welfare of the average laborer and then put the well-being of the corporation and protecting corporate profits over making sure that laborers are fairly compensated and their rights are protected. I mean, if you really care about jobs, then you are pro-union. I assume since we care about the laborer, you are pro-union, you are pro-corporate taxation, and you are pro-taxing the wealthiest
Hey, Kimberly, that's what they said.
and wealth holders in this country.
Look, that's what they said when they came over to the Americas. You know what? Back there, paying for labor was, that was a pain in the ass. So, we're going to go ahead and stop paying for that.
Frankly, it's it's plenty stupid to believe compensating employees leads to good businesses. Look at Silicon Valley. Most of the
Yeah, but Silicon Valley doesn't employ.
they compensate exceptionally well.
Yeah, but Silicon Valley
If
doesn't.
it's a good leader, you could sacrifice your company for one quarter, and you can get sued for that, and you fuck over the company. And it sounds like you were willfully mishearing what I was saying. I was saying ethical CEOs preserve American jobs.
If we're really honest about people with wealth paying more, hold on a second, really honest about people with wealth paying more taxes. You don't need to tax bills. You need to take the IRS code that goes from the moon and back 13 separate times and plug the damn loopholes, which they're allowed to.
Absolutely. So instead of the Trump administration slashing the IRS, slashing the capacity of the IRS to collect revenues, we should have done what the Biden administration did and triple and quadruple the number of IRS agents there are. Those tax holes, those loopholes that have been commercial.
That's definitely worthy of a fart button push. Hello?
I'm just saying that, and then the other piece of this is, if Warren Buffett is so sincere about wanting to be taxed at a higher rate, when you fill out your tax return, you can give the government more money.
Yeah, you just send the government your money. Hello?
You would hand the government more of his wealth?
We just want billionaires. Yeah, folks making more than $400K a year to pay their fair share.
Yeah, here's what I'm for, Austin. So I'm for a flat tax. I think whether you make $4 billion a year or whether you make 40,000, whatever. I think Americans. I think Americans are taxed too much as is.
So we don't believe in a progressive tax.
No, I don't agree with the progressive tax. No, I don't.
You agree with their tax cuts for the
Let me finish. No, I'm not. Yeah, let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish saying. The problem, one of our problems is we spend, as I've said many times, we spend too much money on defense. And
Marshall, are you there? Yeah, I figured you shut the fuck up. Marshall, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yeah, how do you know Warren Buffett doesn't give the government more money? How do you know that?
Oh, I don't. It was more opinion than a fact. I don't know that at all.
Okay, I was just wondering how people knew. I was wondering if Warren Buffett's tax returns are
No, I've never seen Warren Buffett's tax returns. I can't say it as a matter of fact. Only his personal opinion. Sounds like the deal is more personal opinion.
Cool. Okay.
we have, again, both Republicans, I should say, both MAGA and progressive are saying the same.
They're not.
They're saying well, let me just finish. They're saying similar things about the rich and about affordability and how they can afford things. That's how I know I dead set that we're going to socialism at some point in this country. Because I hear people complaining. I hear the MAGA complaining about the elites, and I hear I hear both complaining. The left complaining about corporations. And so what we're dealing with is a problem with. We really and truly have a problem with capitalism in this country. Because we don't. You guys have a problem with capitalism?
Sides looking to address the issues that they're seeing with our society the same way?
No,
Right.
they're not looking.
The same.
They're not looking. So Kimberly, they're not looking to deal with it the same way, but they're complaining when you
are
get.
Fundamentally different. One side believes in aiming for optimizing for the common good, right? The optimizing for the welfare of all people. That's one side. And what is the other side optimizing for?
So when So again, let's separate the people from what we call the sides, because I think both sides. If we're talking about Congress, I think both sides are pretty much pro-business when it comes down to it. Some like different businesses more than others. But when I would say, generally speaking, and I'd love to hear you guys' opinion on this. Let me shut the fuck up. Why don't you guys tell me what do you guys think is the remedy to help affordability in the United States?
Wait, is this part of your debate?
I realize I should sometimes you should shut up and listen. So let me hear, instead of me telling Kimberly what I think, I should listen to Kimberly and others and get what they think. What do you think is the way that America should be dealing with
Mail, are you there? Yeah, nobody cares. Mail, are you there? Is Mail on tape?
No, he's on the go.
Mail said in the group, both parties are pro-business. You can be pro-business, but have different views on what they should provide. I can make an argument that Denmark is pro-business, Sweden is pro-business, but they're not pro-business the way Republicans or Democrats in America are. So that's why I was wondering what he meant by that, but he can't speak, so it's okay.
Yeah, I think they're both pro-business. I agree with that.
Scott, are you there?
Take a bath?
Can you defend the flat tax, please?
Why?
The flat tax?
Well, I was asking him because there was silence and you were soothing chicken.
Chinese
No, look,
Tax or record tax?
anchor.
I mean, it depends on if you call it. A flat tax. A flat tax set at 20%, and then a sales tax on what you consume. I think the taxes should be more based. I think taxes should be more based on consumption, on what you consume, rather than your income. That's my opinion. So I think everybody's.
Imagine that. You think that a politician gets revenue from the guy who makes $1 million, paying the same thing in taxes as the guy that makes $50,000. It's almost as if like these ideas are old, and when people model them, you'd see the American economy would crash. But Scotty wants to defend it. Go ahead, Scotty. What mic on you, brother?
Oh, no, I just wanted to hear him defend it. There was a lull in the combo, so that's it.
A lot of Scotty, what I would say, a lot of our anger in our society is because one side believes, true or false, that they pay. You moving a donkey truck?
No, he is washing some kind of dish and putting it up.
Hey, man, how you doing, brother? Yeah, how's it going?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
How are you?
How is everyone today? I'm good. How are you?
You want a Jamaican accent?
Please, no.
You want a Jamaican accent?
Please.
No.
That's really please.
I can do mine. It's hobby.
I can't do nothing now.
English, French, and Alpha. That's what the market love it, man. He said in the Negro Digest, Negro World.
I tried to address Trent's question earlier about what he thinks we should do to address affordability. In my opinion, I think one thing we should do is reduce the power of NIMBYs across the country. California, the Bills of Remedy, have done a great job, in my opinion. Basically, allowing the state to override some of the environmental shenanigans that different rich California cities have put up. You can see it all around the state, in the better city, in the area, more housing, environment is lost there. And part of it has to do with how, if the law has incentivized us to get some done in these two cities. The thing I think we should do is raise taxes on wealthy people. Personal income taxes have been shifted over time, went downwards. And when
what you said. I didn't get it all. Can you give me an example of the cities when you're talking about California? What you mean?
Did Sean come up? Did that guy Sean L come up?
And nobody wants to hear you.
Did that guy Sean L come up? Couldn't understand what we said, which is
Follow her. Again, insisting the new safety alert. Criminals are impersonating a well-known tech.
No, I couldn't understand.
The new safety alert.
The microphone. I'm not saying I couldn't understand.
why'd you let him get through it?
Well, I figured that other people could. It was me.
Did
But I did understand the part about the cities. So, somewhat, can you give me an example of what you're talking about between the large cities and the small cities with California on taxation? That I don't completely get.
So it's not necessarily taxation, not all taxation. It has to do with the responsibility to build new housing. So if you're familiar with the Bay Area, there's a bunch of cities in the Bay Area that kind of merge into each other, like Mountain View, Redwood City, Sunnyvale, and essentially what's historically happened is that you have homeowners there who are either, we have a lot of ability to how the place looks and want to preserve it, or we want to keep the housing prices up, which means that it's been very
The new
difficult
safety
to
alert. Criminals are
denser housing in these cities. Some cities even have laws on the books that basically prevent you from building multifamily units on particular size plots. And so a few years ago, California has been really, like people my age have been really upset about things. People who are older than me have also figured this is a problem. And so we came to a solution, well not we, I can't vote, but they came to a solution that to ensure that we continue to build housing, we're going to enforce minimum new starts and new housing units per city based on a particular algorithm. And so for cities who are dragging their legs on approving new housing, right, they have this alternate path that goes around community involvement and environmental opposition, all kind of stuff that allows builders to build housing quicker. And these cities are still behind. We definitely need more housing, but it's been a very good thing. And that's why I think that's how we can address our housing affordability. And that may not like this, but I like it. In Brooklyn, for example, they upzoned 4th Avenue, and as a result, you've seen like 12 to 14-story units coming up very rapidly over time. So yeah, it's become much denser. Governance is changing a lot. And in doing so, we get more housing and
the new safety
address pricing growth.
Yeah, but Texas is much better at quickly and efficiently building housing than California, and there's still an affordability issue here in Texas. There's still homeless people. There's still people without health insurance. Like, yes, the abundance thing, sure, whatever Ezra Klein, whatever Derek Thompson, but it's not really the problem. Like, there's so many other issues.
Yeah, I know, but I'd much rather have Austin's decrease in rents as compared to New York City rental changes.
A part of why Austin's rent and housing market has collapsed is because people are moving out. Because Texas is people are learning that it's not the most ideal place to live if you want a certain kind of lifestyle.
That's true, but they also have much more housing starts as compared to SF or New York.
But that's what I'm saying. They also have an affordability issue.
Yeah, so
they have housing starts and people. There's still a larger percentage of the Texas population is homeless than the percentages of homeless people in California. So what do we do with the fact that Texas is really good at building housing and still really bad at getting people housed?
Well, Kimberly, we have two problems in Texas. One, we're growing at an extremely rapid rate.
We're not anymore. We're not.
Ma'am, just hang on. especially in
The
Houston and
census data
Dallas.
just came out, Trent. Did you look at the most recent census data?
Okay.
No, I didn't look at the most recent census.
Misinformation.
Okay, so Dallas and Houston are still two of the fastest growing metroplexes in the United States. Austin, I do not understand. It's a great point. I don't understand if the collapse in Austin is because of Round Rock and the companies that are moving north, or if it is only localized. Austin's unique. I mean, rents went through the roof, and now they're coming down. But they're still up like hundreds of percent from where they were a decade ago. So like it's kind of crazy. But let me ask this: if we were to build more housing in a socialist style, like project housing to house the homeless, would that be a good thing for these cities?
Y'all listen to anything.
It's a serious question. I'm talking about if we build more housing at low income housing for low income folks specifically, is that something you guys think would be beneficial?
How does that address what she was asking you?
I don't think she was asking me anything. Maybe I missed it.
Go ahead, Jen.
My pound cake just came out of the oven, so I have to go.
What kind of glaze are you using?
I'm a good negress, so it's lemon.
Straight up.
Is there something wrong with lemon? Yes.
No.
Yeah, yes, regular lemon.
It's 2026, you're a millennial. You might have, I don't know, lemon and almond. I don't know. I was asking if it was anything.
Oh, no, you're right. Everybody's so prickly these days, so I just responded in a prickly way. No, it's just old-fashioned lemon pound cake.
What recipe?
My grandma's that was written down on an index card probably sometime in the 80s.
Is she a pound, or she mixes up a little bit?
Everything is equal.
Oh, she does do that. Okay. Yeah, that's a little controversial. Okay. All right, I'm done with this one.
I just want to say, y'all can thank me. The spam is gone from the chat. Thank you.
Kimberly, before you get your pound cake, can you answer the question? Should we be building?
I really don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm not gonna just bullshit and pretend like I know. I just know that this thing about housing starts. That's not.
I think it's good. Even before 2022 or Austin, escape from Austin, red states have always been better at building more housing than blue states. And I posted a FTO. I'll try and get archive link for that. Basically, shows the changes in rental prices as well as housing starts, and then goes by cities in Democratic states or cities in primarily Republican states.
Austin is a nostalgia for me.
Okay, so part of the answer is rezoning. It is building housing. It's also public transportation. It's also, paying people more fucking money. So you get 4 of those, and that can get you on the track to having some affordability.
A well-known tech company in a text-messaging tech.
I'm a big proponent of public. I'm a big proponent of high-speed rail. Huge proponent of high-speed rail. But how do we pay people more money, Scotty?
idea. I don't know how we could do that.
Instead of putting terrorists,
The new
companies use
safe-
that money and pay their employees.
The new safety alert. Criminals.
Pie bigger. I think this should be more of a pie in a equitable manner. Trent.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's not like the CEO versus the what average worker pay has gone up 500% or something since the 80s. I forget what the number is. So it could be something around that.
So you think we should limit executive pay and distribute that down to the worker?
Nobody said that.
That would be, no one said that. No, that's not what that means.
I'm asking the question. People have proposed it. That's all that.
Something needs to change about that.
That's called capitalism. That's what happens when you let capitalism run amok. It runs the fuck amok.
The U.S. is not the most capitalist country in the world. It has the
No, but it is that problem is a bit unique to us. I don't even have to go look that up. I know it's not that way in Japan, but I do think that our executive compensation is something that both sides are complaining about. Is the compensation piece?
Wait, which are publicly complaining about compensation?
Both the MAGA on the right and what we call progressives or liberals on the left.
MAGA's talking about executive compensation and golden parachutes and things like that.
Absolutely, that was the whole problem with the Tea Party. Yeah, that was a big part of what you talked about.
Wait.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they were.
That trend.
Well, a lot of the Tea Party was upset, especially I think Washington Mutual. Like when Washington Mutual went under, and the CEO still got I don't know what it was, $18 million. When we still had these places failing and going, these major institutions failing going under, and these executives were walking away with golden parachutes. The right was very upset about that. I don't know if y'all knew that, but yeah, they were.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, Trent.
They were so upset they voted the same people in that passed the bill. That's how upset they were.
They changed, and that's how you got blowhards like Ted Cruz.
Okay.
I mean, the Republican Party did change during the 2010 to 2011. There was a changing of the guard with the Tea Party, and some of those older folks, now it's completely different, but some of those tried and true business Republicans were voted out for what we ended up with.
Right. Yeah.
Wait, so the Occupy Wall Street and the Tea Party were one and the same?
I was gonna say, are you misattributing this to the Tea Party to Occupy?
Why?
No,
I think we're at DNA at this point.
no, I'm not. Again, they are not as what we call they are not as anti-capitalist as Occupy Wall Street was, but executive compensation was definitely something that has come up, and it's something I still hear about today.
Okay.
CEOs making too much money.
So today, which popular MAGA Republicans are talking about CEO compensation today?
It's not in. Actually, I think I have Tucker Carlson to say it, but it's when you talk to the people, they talk in excess of what these companies are making, and the billions of dollars that are being made, and how it's harder for them to afford. That's why I'm saying a lot of the conversation on both the right and the left, the complaints are the same, the solutions are slightly different, but the people, not the politicians, the people are complaining about the same thing.
Yeah, they are. You're right. The solutions are slightly different. One side is calling for universal, single payer healthcare, and the other side is saying we shouldn't have mandatory healthcare. People should get catastrophic or no plans. You're right. They're slightly different.
So not too long ago, actually, I revisited a book by Peter Scotchpole and Vanessa Williamson about the. Sorry, I know we don't read it. It's crazy because executive compensation did not come up in
The new safety alert. Criminals are impersonating a well-known tech company in a text message scam. The new safety alert.
Politicians who came up during that time, and so I just went back to my notes. Rand Paul, Rubio, Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, Ron John. Are those anti-corporate? Those are the anti-corporate Republican movement that swept into power because of the Tea Party. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't. What you're saying.
Hello.
I didn't say they stuck to it.
I mean, could you be just wrong about this whole thing?
I was too young, but I can't, based on my reading of it, I don't think they were saying that at the time. Trent?
They weren't.
Second.
I don't think the figures that Kimberly named were talking specifically to executive compensation and remuneration at that time.
Again, so I'm making
Now, people may have been pissed at, like, you know.
Oh, they were fucking.
The government.
They were fucking mad at what?
People may have been pissed about the government, you know, bailing out these companies and then not putting any restrictions on how these companies could pay bonuses. Totally get that. But I'm specifically speaking about exec compensation and how. Sorry, go ahead, Trent. My bad.
Fucking furious. They're mad that the people flew in on private jets. And then the next time, and I'm talking about it was the automotive CEOs. They flew in on private jets, and then the next time they came to ask for the money or whatever it was, they came in like regular fucking cars. You know what I mean? Like they.
Compensation was not.
Let me put it very clearly. They were against government bailouts. They were against Obama. They were against government spending on the ACA. That was their primary motivation. And they fucking also hated Obama. Yep. That's why they were there. It wasn't a corporate compensation of CEOs and shit like that. What kind of delusion is that?
No, it's not delusional, bro. They were very upset. And again, they still are.
They were so upset that they voted to lower the corporate tax rate to basically nothing and also give tax handouts to...
Who has his own private jet. That's how upset. So upset. Their main benefactor is the richest guy in the world. I mean, they're really upset. Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree with being upset. Like, I'm insulted.
What has come out of this is not. I'm in agreement with y'all of what happens, but as what has happened, I'm not trying to say what has happened, and Republicans favoring corporations is not a reality. I completely agree with you on that. But what I'm saying is when you talk to the people, they often talk about greedy corporations and greedy executives being the enemy, the elites. Now, they also, the difference is when they refer to elites, they are talking about educated people now, these days. They also use the term about these educated people, but they have a resentment of a lot of them.
And you're representing the
of the executive class.
Okay, so now the argument's changed completely. Imagine being a set of educated people. I'm educated in why he went to medical school. What? I just be saying stuff, you know. Y'all listen to it, y'all go back and forth with this guy. They're so upset. They nominated a guy who shits on golden toilets. He's so upset with the elites. Flying around with like oil barons and sheikhs and shit. Oh, they're so upset. Like that's how obsessed they're so upset with that. They're just, we just hate these elites. Oh, I gotta get them out of it. Y'all listen to anything. Y'all just take it in good faith. Y'all let this man just come in here and just make shit up on the fly, on the spot every day.
Not every day. He hasn't been here.
The census numbers literally came out this week, all over the newspapers, and he's about to come in here and say the opposite of what the census just said. But he was going to laugh at Kimberly Foster. He's going to laugh at it. Y'all listen to anything. It's insane. So upset. They're going around talking about how great the big beautiful bill was. That's how upset they are. Biggest tax cuts for the rich in history, both under Donald Trump, I believe. That's how upset they are with the elites. Elon Musk just said it just put a bunch of money in to keep Republicans at midterms. They're so upset with the elites. Y'all just listen. I'm sure 420 will be open, you know. You get that off in there.
Shut up.
So bizarre.
If the floor is open, I have something to say on my chest.
Look at him now. He's putting stats. Look at him now putting stats about Houston. You said Texas. Isn't that amazing how people?
I just said, my man, I said,
Constantly talking about Texas and California, the state, and you changed it to Houston and Dallas.
Yes.
Everybody here knows that Houston and Dallas can be growing, but the state itself can be losing, and so the net would be losing, which would go to the point about housing that they were talking about.
Yeah.
The point was about housing.
Yeah, it's about.
It wasn't simply about Houston.
yeah, so,
We're talking about population growth. But also, we should talk about the report. We should also talk about the report released from the Dallas Fed recently about their concern for the Dallas Metroplex, the economy, because it is slowing so rapidly because of all of these deportations, and the economy is turning.
correct. You're correct about that. We have a problem in Dallas. We have a problem in South Texas.
I didn't know.
Okay. So anyways, back to okay.
No. So to nuance the conversation, what I so you could be real clear on what I said. I said that we still have a exploding. I don't want to call it
It
exploding.
is not exploding.
We still have a big growth rate in both Houston and Dallas. Yes.
I literally just said. Wait a second. Did you just acknowledge that?
Just said that you. I can't.
It's okay, chat. Just mute up for a little bit, chat.
No, it's okay. We got Ben. Ben wants to talk to himself as usual.
Wait. We just have to be just really clear. So I used to live across the street from the Dallas Fed, and they recently released a report that said that the DFW economy is slowing, that they are concerned because it is not growing as rapidly as it has previously because of the tariffs, but also because the rapid deportations has dampened growth in the Metroplex. So that means that if you're going to talk about growth in the economies of the major cities in Texas, you cannot talk about Dallas. So when you reiterated the point back, you just said Houston and Dallas, when you explicitly have to remove Dallas from that conversation.
I don't know if you're talking. I just put the stats for both Dallas and
Did you read the report from the Dallas Fed, Trent?
No, I didn't.
Have you heard of it before I just mentioned it?
No, I hadn't. So, no. What I have heard is the slowing growth in Dallas. I did just talk to somebody in Dallas.
So if we're going to talk about the economy of the DFW Metroplex, would we go to the Dallas Federal Reserve?
Ma'am, we don't have to be upset. We're just having this conversation.
I'm upset because you're not listening to what I am saying. You are calm because you don't know anything. I understand. It's really calm and stress-free when you can just make shit up on the fly. It gets frustrating when you are trying to be diligent and rigorous and you're talking to somebody who is not acknowledging that rigor. That's why I'm getting upset.
Okay. What I said, what I have heard is that the growth rate of the economy is slowing. The growth rate in terms of people in North Dallas and Houston is still going up. Right, I just talked about
Oh my God.
Wait, no, Trent.
America is great indeed. Imagine an economy that can sustain itself and achieve this GDP with people with this mind. America is an incredible place.
Trent, the growth rate increasing like conservative. The stat you pose is just the first derivative, or the projection that you pose is just the first derivative. It's okay, Trent.
You don't know what that means.
So what are you saying? So what we were saying is that the population of both Dallas and Houston is shrinking. Is that what you read, Kimberly? I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing. Are you reading that the population of Dallas and Houston is shrinking?
No, because that doesn't make sense. But in order to a growing economy, okay, needs to sustain a rate of growth of population. That rate of population growth cannot remain steady because of the rate of deportations.
I would concur with that. Yes, I agree that the growth rate
We were just talking because businesses talk about. Okay, I don't know. I was just saying I would never make an argument that the total number of residents of Houston or Dallas has shrunk. That doesn't even make sense to argue.
Okay, that's what I was talking about in terms of housing, and that's okay. We just talk past each other. The growth rates of Houston and Dallas in the pretty strong, especially Houston and Colorado, which is absolutely fucking.
That needs chips, man. I'm trying to think of a trend.
My bad. Y'all talk about that. He's more enjoyable. Thanks for letting me listen. Y'all take care.
Gotta run. Bye.
Kimberly, want to start you there?
Yeah.
What were you going to say before we got on the trend sidetrack?
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I just got triggered. So I've been reading these books. One is Dark Money by Jane Mayer, which I missed from 2016, and of them Strangers in Their Own Land by Arlie Hochschild or whatever. I've just been trying to, read about, what ushered in the Trump era and, the dark money and the Koch brothers and the Olins and all these people. And one thing I really don't like that the liberals do, the coastal elites do, is they have in their narratives and in their reporting this idea that all of this is it's top down. That we are in this place because of the big bad Koch brothers or the Mount Pelerin Society. Oh, that's another one. Her name is Nancy McLean. That was another book I just started, but it's it was a national book. Anyways, that we're here because of the neoliberals, the rich. We have to talk about how the poor white is not a friend to the Negro. The poor white is not a friend to the immigrant. It don't take much to get those should have the top-down conversation, and I am interested in a fact. I love a history. Okay, but you can't neglect the fact that there's these grassroots, this movement of people who are resentful of the Negro, right? Like in Strangers in Their Own Land, Hochschild, however she pronounces it, talks about this deep story, right? They're resentful because they feel like we jumped the line, we jumped ahead of them. And that's not going to be solved by fixing the quote-unquote misinformation problem or reversing Citizens United. That stuff is not going to be fixed by that. And that is what I've been raging at and screaming at the person who lives in my home for the last couple days, because the coastal...
Wait, you believe that?
No. He just sits while
He sits there while you scream?
Yeah, while I...
That poor boy.
while I bring them.
You're tying down, you just yell at him.
Yeah.
Did you dying of whiteness, or and if so,
Ooh, that's next. I have heard of it, and I watched a video about it, but I have not read it.
That's a little pseudo.
Well, I will say, I was reading Metzel's. Okay, so I was reading Metzel's biography, and I was like, no, what exactly does he do? He's all over the place. He has all kinds of degrees and appointments, and I'm just like, I'm not exactly sure what he does. What is his expertise?
Why do you say it's pseudo, man?
Oh, it's just because, just the term whiteness and calling those things whiteness. The term whiteness, oftentimes, I think, I'm not going to talk too long, I don't want to be uninteresting. The term whiteness oftentimes is like a catch-all. People just mean like white people. A lot of times, it just you can just call the thing what it is. Like, he can make those arguments without using that language. I just don't find that language useful. It sets off a set of signifying chains that I think don't need to be set off. I guess you can use whiteness, whatever.
So how would you title the book if you read it already?
How would I have titled the book?
Yeah.
Oh, it's more than title. I just think the whole frame of whiteness is not useful.
Okay.
I think a lot of it is geographic. I think a lot of it is cultural. I'm the culture guy. I think a lot of this stuff is cultural. Did you read it?
I read the first 4 chapters on the plane. I haven't finished it yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's boring. That's why you haven't finished it.
No comment.
It's a good title to sell books, but I don't know. Yeah, the whole we gotta overturn Citizens United and all that. Kimberly put it well.
Yeah, we're just living in la la land if you think all of this is going to be fixed by restraining the capacity of the wealthiest people in the country to influence elections.
There's a particular person that comes in there all the time that always reads off that script, and it sounds right, but it's like, I don't know, it's like Marxism for solidly middle class and up B+ students.
Okay.
It sounds right, it feels right. You turn in the paper, you think, oh yeah, this is it. The professor gives it back to your teacher, you're like, man, wasn't that good? It sounds right. A lot of this stuff predates Citizens United.
That's what
What's insane about these arguments?
That's what I was gonna say. You would have to assume everything was
Citizens
fine.
United is what, 2014, 2012, somewhere around there.
2013.
2013, I think. 2013. Not 2014, somewhere around there. 2013. Literally around there. So.
This is what I am saying. So, I don't want to be too reductive, but it got to the point where I was just looking at these Jane Mayer's biography and Hochschild's biography, or Hochschild. I had a professor who pronounced it Hochschild. I don't know, whatever. And I'm like, because I knew they were East Coast liberals. I just think that if you don't have interaction with these kinds of whites, like myself getting mad during strangers in their own land. I mean, obviously, toward the end of the book, there's like the liberal, I don't know, like the, hey, by the way, I'm on your side, liberals. But like, it's just so much empathy to, they are, because, you know, she's in Louisiana. And it's like, the country that they knew has lost them. They were saying that 100 years ago. They were saying the exact same thing. They were saying the same thing 150. Like, the idea that this is about the Civil Rights Act or affirmative action. I mean, it's just not. That's just not right. And the poor white is not a friend to the Negro. Merch coming soon.
Wait, what's the phrase?
The poor white is not a friend to the Negro. The Marxists believe that all we have to do is give them new messaging. Okay, if we shut off the Fox News messaging, if we shut off the Dan Bongino messaging, if we turn off the Koch brothers fountain, or now there's like the Ziklag Society, it's one of those Christian nationals, if we turn them off, then the poor white will realize that we are all on the same side.
Yep. I mean, I don't know how much you want to read into this, but I would argue the genesis of this in American sociocultural history is actually how the genesis of this is actually how can I put it? People have read, this is going to sound strange, abolitionists. There's a whole line of Marxist, neo-Marxist labor historiography that argues, if not for the abolitionists, that is the middle class and up bourgeois abolitionists, working class whites would have fought on behalf of the enslaved. And what the wedge was the middle class whites, was the abolitionists, was the perfectionists, was the Garrisons, and so on. It is a long standing story. And they read, I don't get into it too much, but this is a sort of.
Brother, please take your time. We listen to that, brother.
Underline, I don't know what.
You do abolition. Got me all passionate and shit about abolition. I don't eat nothing I can't spell. How you spell abolition?
Take
your time, brother. I heard a bird flew in and crip walked and told me and somersaulted and did a backflip to tell me that the white people were slaves too. Okay, you think they coming out, crip walking out the fucking Caucasus Mountains and shit? Caucasian, Caucasus. Is it making sense? Caucasian, Caucasus Mountains. And I had heard that everybody was a slave to some degree. You feel me? Allegedly. And I heard that it's 50 shades of melanin. That white woman across the street is black. Melanated. She's just a lighter shade of melanin. Those that are below the equator and above the equator, like Ecuador and shit, if you are above the equator, you're going to be a certain tone. You feel me? And if you're below the equator, you're going to be a darker tone. So do you feel me? And what racism? Is it 50 shades of melanin, pigmentation? Ain't that about a bitch? Back to you. You walking the politically correct. Happy motherfucking Tuesday. Hey, Daddy. And First Lady. And Gemini and everyone in this country. Oh, this blood is good. Thank you, Jesus.
Why do I have to get interrupted while having like a regular conversation for that? I don't understand it. Am I that? Maybe Sonny was right. Maybe I'm that uninteresting. I must be that uninteresting that I had to be interrupted.
No, you're not. You're being yourself. Your authentic self, which is a higher frequency than gratitude, brother. Never change for nobody. If somebody said that you're boring and you're fuck them nigga bitches and hoes. They don't pay written on mine, let alone occupy space in our consciousness. Keep it pushing. Don't pay no attention. Don't feed your frequency to that low vibration. You keep being you, brother, okay? Yay, and everybody up in this bitch. Excuse me, everybody up in this collective, like every professional shit, since I'm media. as fuck and trying to bring your energy down to their boringness. Ain't that about a boring ass bitch ass nigga? Oh my God. We gotta lift each other up more than ever, collective, with all of the distractions that the entities have been trying to just throw at us. They threw the pandemic of COVID, nigga. We walked through that bitch like man on fire, Denzel Washington. They threw the poison in our food and the forever chemicals in our water shit. Shit, we silver surfed up that bitch like Silver Surfer. Like, what's up? You feel me? They tried to they blew up and massacred the Black Wall Street. Well, I hear a little birdie creep up and told me that another Wall Street is coming with a fucking coin. Thank you, Jesus. You mean to tell me they guard everybody from every position? We can't do shit. What are we supposed to do? Do nothing? No. The universe created us to manipulate energy of this planet and infinite planets, if you know what I'm saying. That means transmute your... This is a trauma planet. If you didn't know, y'all, welcome. Welcome to Earth. This entire planet is built on the construct of traumas, pain, suffering. You better make it look good. Like Anita Baker. Not Angela Bassett in the leading role or Denzel Washington in the leading role. You better be the leading role of your own life. Because no one's going to do it for you. Martin showed enough had a dream, but we all got dreams to be manifested as well, too. That means you got a dream, too, right?
It wasn't me, but thank you.
I'm at a loss of words here.
Wow. I come in peace, but you going to throw me to the goo? That's disrespectful. God bless everybody. I wish you nothing but success. And whoever did that, fuck you. And have a blessed day. Happy Tuesday.
Kimberly,
You get that comedy routine for free.
wow, that's great.
The disrespect is real. But I love you all. Have a good day. Motherfucker.
All right. The book you put in, I haven't read it yet. I don't know if I will. I don't know if I want that book on my shelf, but I listened to an interview with him. When the book first came out, I listened to a few interviews. And one thing that was interesting about it was Marx wrote about America more than anything else, any other subject. And he may have been the most read columnist in America on the eve of the Civil War. I think it was the 1850s. Someone can correct me. It was the 1850s. He never came to America. Have you read it yet, Kimberly?
What book?
Marx in America. Didn't you put that in the chat?
Oh no, that was Brother.
Brother Messi put that in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Then brother to you too. Sorry, I thought you put it in the chat. But I don't know what we were talking about before. I can't.
Yeah. I just scrolled up. Brother Messi wrote, check out, and at the University of Chicago link. And I don't really actually know that much about Mark, actually.
The press, one of the best. Anyway, academic presses. Anyway, there you go.
Yeah, so I've just been on this in my quest to learn more about the economic side of things. I've been really in my neoliberal bag recently, just